Hey everyone, this is Logan Wahlberg. I'm doing my video journal number 2, and this is on the APERS video, where we kind of observed the classroom, took down notes, rated it, and all that good stuff. Um, I'm just going to go ahead and start off with the first thing that stood out to me the most was how positive energy the classroom was that I observed. The class, the aides, the teachers, they were always very positive to the kids with ASD. I think that was very helpful. Some of the students were struggling; they weren't getting questions right, but the teacher and the aide, they never really got frustrated. They just kept giving them positive energy, and then when they did get it, they had a big smile on their face or a big high five, and they just when you're sitting there observing, you kind of realize a lot more how much that smile means to those kids or that high five means. And I just think that we improved so much as a teacher just from observing and just watching. Another thing that out to me was how important signs are, or just being organized in the classroom for our information on the walls, or that the stuff that the teacher had, that was probably one of their biggest struggles, was they didn't have any like barriers up or anything. So they did a lot of station work, but some of these kids with ASD, they have problems with other kids in the class, and some of them know how to really antagonize another one. So they'd go from station to station, but they would still see that student across. And I would see at times, one of the students, making faces at one of the kids or just very upsetting them. But they didn't have that, wall barrier or just a little structure, or just enough space in the classroom to go to another side. And the other thing that, stood out to me was at the very, if you're sitting in the back of the classroom, the classroom bends, so you can't really see to the front right. So you always have to have someone up there. They did have something cool though. They did have a quiet room in the classroom, which they used kind of for positive reinforcement. So they did have a room where it was a closed door, like a room inside of a room, where they could send kids, when they finish their work, or if someone needs, completely quiet when they're working on their work, they could go in there. A lot of times they used it for when they finish their work, they can go in there and they play their games in there, or work where they're not distracting others. But this does require an aide to be there at all times. And then back to the aide part, that was the other issue that I kind of saw. Is I realized how important it is to be on the same track as our aides. And I think the biggest thing note that I took down is every day I'm going to meet with my aides and just let them know, hey, this is the plan, this is where I want you at, or this is where you need to be. Because I felt like the aides were very helpful, like they were very positive, they were willing to work, but sometimes they just didn't really know what to do or what the teacher wanted them to do, and you could see the teacher teaching and pointing at the aides and telling them where to go. And I just think that it'd be very smart to have a meeting with them at the beginning of class or before school starts and say, hey, this is where you're going to be, this is what I want you to do, or during this time you're doing this, kind of have it laid out. Um, I also learned that it was that these kids really strive, and we already knew that they care about their schedules, but having them a part of their schedules is really awesome. So they would rotate each day who got to speak as the planner. So they'd write down everything that goes, you know, for the day, or up on the board, and the kids would write in their planners. But each day, that student wrote it up on the board with the teacher. So then they would rotate, and just to see them get up there and just be a part of it was something that it sounds like such a little idea, but it impacts them and makes them really care about the day. The other thing that the teacher struggled with was when they had change. She was a big believer on, okay, this is what's going to happen. That's fine. There's going to be change, and not really like making the students aware. And that's where I felt like the most meltdowns happened. So one day, she knew that there was a fire alarm happening at 11 o'clock. She told us, but she never told the kids because she wanted to make it such a real life situation. Well, then this just completely ruined the rest of the day. All the kids' schedules were off, and they weren't aware of it. Where it might have been better just to let them know. But then I do understand the other side of it, to where they do get to experience this like a real experience. So if it were to happen, where a fire were to happen, these kids know where to go. They are ready to go. Those are just a few things that I took away too. I just think that we learned so much just observing. I'm really looking forward to observing this class throughout the year and learning more. Um, but One other thing that stood out to me is just organizational skills, just being organized, having things in the right place, and it'll help our kids at the ASD. But yeah, I look forward to observing more and learning more throughout the year.